Hello and welcome. I'm Ophelia Deng. Along with the 13 new outer people, Brandon Johnson was also elected as Chicago's 47th mayor. Abortion battle continues to play out. It's looking like a long fight. The bottom line is women can still access abortion pill for now, Chicago's largest business networking event. It's back in town and thousands of people were there. Long story short, not enough people are using the offices, and companies don't want to or cannot afford to pay for the empty spaces. We're on the street in North Halstead, formerly known as Boys Towns. You can see rainbow signs, painting, flags, murals everywhere, and there's even a rainbow walkway right behind me. It's the largest LGBTQ-friendly neighborhood in the Midwest, and it's in 44th Ward. When I was a little girl, if I had trouble with my math homework, my mom would joke and ask, "Is your English teacher teaching you math?" But in Chicago schools, that could really be the case now. Chicago city markets are booming throughout the city. Vendors return outdoors with fresh produce, pastries, flowers, and more.
The freshness, how everything comes and it was just harvested.
We have happiness and joy and pleasure.
Starting this month, Chicago city markets open up one by one at a dozen different locations weekly.
We've been coming to this market for over 25 years. It's a very nice market. Love being here.
Good to see all the vendors again, our customers we see every year.
I like our regulars. I'm always happy when I see them.
Many people from the neighborhoods came to shop their favorite produce and Chicago-made products.
We love the farmers market and we've been looking forward to this for like 2 months.
It's a highlight of the spring to me, and then the summer.
It's definitely better to be outside with everybody in attendance, all the different marketers.
City markets run through the entire summer to early November. I'm Ophelia Deng for Chicago This Week. Movies at Gallagher Way returns as the summer starts. People came to watch the movie with their partners, friends, families, and even dogs.
Hanging out with my friends, being on the lawn, watching the free movies is so exciting.
Just a fun daddy-daughter activity.
It's a summertime favorite for everybody, so really excited for it to get warmer and have the movie nights back.
I think I see my dad.
Gallagher Way teams up with local cinema Alamo Drafthouse to select and present classic movies for the neighborhood.
The older classics are usually what gets people to come out because they're not airing anywhere, you know? You might have to dust off a VHS tape, which is what we promote.
I just think the movie's pretty funny, and I like this movie a lot.
It's kind of like I'm in the movie theater, but I'm at Wrigley Field.
Event director says movie nights also bring in more business for the local merchants.
That's one of our goals, is to drive traffic to the neighborhood and to the businesses that surround Wrigley Field, even when the Cubs are either in the off season or out of town.
Gallagher Way hosts movie nights every Wednesday at 6 p.m. from May to September. Reports show that the global real estate market is facing $175 billion in debt, ranking as the top industry with the most distressed bonds and loans. The Chicago Loop is home to many trophy commercial buildings, and it's struggling because of office vacancies. People are hesitant to give up remote working and return back to offices.
Office drove the market in downtown for years. We had 350,000 people a day coming to the Loop. We have a little over half that now, so about 180,000 people. Makes a big difference.
According to the real estate company Avison Young's latest report, the office vacancy rate at Class A trophy buildings is 7.5%, but Class B and Class C buildings are doing much worse. Downward office demand and dramatically rising interest rates have put pressure on mortgage security loans in Chicago. Only 50% of the loans are in good standing, 28% are watch-listed, 9% have been special serviced, and up to 13% of the loans are delinquent. Long story short, not enough people are using the offices, and companies don't want to or cannot afford to pay for the empty spaces. The market demand is at its lowest.
Companies are, when they're making a decision about a lease expiration, they're still choosing to sign an office lease, but they're reevaluating how much space do we really need and how do we make sure that we design the space in a way that meets the needs of our employees.
Lower demand will eventually lead to a decrease in the value of office buildings.
you need to have demand for an asset, for that asset to have value. And so if it's an office building and there's no demand for that space because people are not returning to the office, it's going to impact the value.
Those offices need to continue to generate revenue, or they're going to be taken back by the banks. If they're taken back by the banks, somebody's going to lose a lot of money. But those buildings, those old office buildings, would then be resold at some lower amount, which might enable them to be converted into housing, because the cost of the building itself will be so much less.
Fewer people in the office means fewer customers who are going to the restaurants and stores in the area. Experts say many stores barely survived the pandemic, and they will have to struggle a little longer.
So we counted 35 vacant storefronts on LaSalle Street, and that wasn't actually the whole street. It was just really the southern half of the street.
Loop's storefront vacancy stood at a 20-year high in 2022. Now, in 2023, more people are coming back to the Loop. The situation is recovering slowly.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, the Loop feels just like it used to. Mondays and Fridays, not so much. But what is great is that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are much busier than they used to be. People are coming down.
Nonetheless, we can still see empty storefronts and closed restaurants on the street, and the health of the storefront economy is tied to the office vacancies.
So a big driver for employees is there something to do after work? Is it located in a neighborhood or an area where there's restaurants, bars, shops? Because that can also be a driver for how people return to the office if there's something to do afterward.
To revitalize the storefront economy, in 2023, the government has released funds to help small businesses.
Just announced was the city's Small Business Improvement Fund, which is actually giving some major money, $250,000, maybe even $300,000, sort of depending on your business, or whether it's a business or cultural institution or even a small cafe on LaSalle Street.
To relieve the pressure of the commercial real estate market and make the area vibrant again, Chicago also launched the LaSalle Street Reimagined project to turn vacant office buildings into residential buildings. Chicago government selected 3 projects in 2023 to turn 3 landmark office buildings into residential living. The selected finalists are 111 West Monroe Street, 208 South LaSalle Street, and 135 South LaSalle Street. More than 1.6 million square feet of vacant space will be remodeled as apartments, hotel, and retails, including nearly 320 affordable housing for people with at least $45,000 in household income. The project represents $550 million in total investment.
We found out in the Loop, and this is not just LaSalle Street, but the entire Loop, that the residents, there's 45,000 residents, higher than it was before the pandemic, that they spend about $400 million a year, disposable income on food, entertainment, things that we all spend money on daily living, not including the cost of their housing. But what was really interesting is there's about $940 million more dollars available that they're spending on those same kind of things, but outside of the Loop. And so there's a real economic value to a resident if you have the kind of services and products and entertainment that they want.
Chicagoans are supportive of the project and hope it could revitalize the neighborhood.
It'd be great to have more people living in the Loop and really have it be more of a vibrant neighborhood.
I believe that's one way of bringing more people down here to the central business district, also to shopping and restaurants.
Getting them filled up is going to help the economy, no matter what it is.
However, some voiced their concerns about the cost of living here.
One of the reasons why they're vacant is because of the cost of being in that building. I mean, for how expensive it is to be there. And I don't see how it would be any less expensive for someone to have it as a residential area.
The Loop still has a long way ahead to recover from the hit of the pandemic. Experts say they expect to see things turn around in the middle of next year.